Cold beer is what we came in here for. One or two, or maybe more. I guess we were getting just a little too loud for this wine and cheese crowd. They stared like we were from outer space. Don't care, it's written all over our face. Now we're on a mission. We don't need permission. We're here to raise the bar, give the place a working class. Drink a toast and raise our glass to the ones you know. Go over the top and then take it up a notch.
Hey everybody, it's Adam Argullin from Craig Morgan's Guitar Vault, and welcome to our first episode of Getting to Know the Band and Crew. And for our first episode, I thought what better way than to start things off with our fiddle player, Ed Hodges. Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So let me ask you, how you play fiddle. How long have you played fiddle? When did you start?
For 50 years.
So you started
at 2 years old. Father started teaching me out in Seattle. When I was growing up, he was a fiddle player and taught me. He found that I became interested in it. One day he used to have people that came over and played music all the time on weekends. It was a common thing for me to fall asleep on the floor listening to my mom and dad and all of his friends.
And we're not talking
music.
about classically.
This is country hillbilly music. My dad was a fiddle player, mom played piano. We had guys over there that sang, played banjo, guitar, upright bass, everything. I grew up with that. And one day I went to the kitchen and I grabbed a fork and a knife. And I came out and I stood next to my dad in my diapers going like this. And he said, well, I think it's time to get you a fiddle. So 2 years old, I got my first fiddle.
Very cool.
Yeah, started playing.
So you've obviously been playing a number of years, and this is not your first gig. So Let me ask you, how long you been with the Craig Morgan camp?
Well, this is my 12th year.
12th year?
Started in 2013.
Very cool.
Yeah, at the very beginning.
I got to ask, how'd you get this gig?
Moved back to Nashville the second time from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I was working in theaters out there with a friend of mine named Drew. We called him Kid Drew out there, a great guitar player. He went to work for Kelly Pickler, and we'd been in town for about 3 months. He happened to be really close friends with the band leader for Craig Morgan, Travis Newman, and he found out that Travis was looking for a fiddle player. And he called Travis and said, hey man, my roommate's a fiddle player. You ought to check him out. And so that's how the connection happened.
Very cool.
And about a month later, I started working for him.
You just mentioned a minute ago that you'd moved back to Nashville. So what would you say your hometown would be?
Well, I was born in Seattle. I lived there for 12 years. And then we moved to Montana, where my family's originally from, Culbertson, Montana, a little town of 800 people. And I basically grew up, most of my memories is from there. I attended junior high and high school there and worked there. My first jobs were in Culbertson. So, yeah, I would say I'm from Culbertson, but I was born in Seattle.
Okay. And some would say you're on the run from the law. It's
whatever
right. Works. I mean, so in all your travels and all these years, what would you say your favorite city or favorite place for barbecue would be?
Oh, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, hands down.
No question about it.
No question. There's nothing that can compare to South Carolina.
So I'm curious myself, what kind of music do you listen to outside of work?
Hillbilly jazz.
Hillbilly jazz.
Yes. Love hillbilly jazz. Grew up on Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys.
Okay.
Love Western swing.
Definitely.
Love Joe Venuti. Love Stefan Grappelli. Anything that's jazzy involves acoustic instruments I love. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I know there's a lot of songs to choose from. If you had to narrow it down to one, do you have a favorite Craig Morgan song?
Absolutely. It's hard to pick, but 302 South Maple Avenue is one that hits home with me. It's about his being raised in a small town and the fondness of his memories that he had of that. I can relate to that. I think most people that ever grew up in a small town can relate to the home cooking and just the smell of going back to your home and the memories that it brings to you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Boxers or briefs?
Oh, briefs. I look terrible in. Well, no, but I'm sorry. It's boxers. I look terrible in briefs. It looks hideous in briefs. Boxers. I gotta wear boxers. Man, I almost messed that up.
There are no wrong answers here.
Well, that
go with what you feel.
One. That almost became a wrong answer.
Listen, I don't want you to think too much. I just want you to answer, okay?
Yeah.
Favorite person in the camp? Go.
Oh, you. Yeah,
Thank you.
Hands down. That's
Appreciate
easy.
that.
That's easy. Yeah.
And out of all your time here, if you had to narrow it down to one, do you have a favorite memory or experience that you've had since being in this camp?
Well, I've got a lot of favorite memories. I love playing going overseas and doing USOs, and those are always memorable. But one of them that stands out to me is something that Craig probably doesn't know.
Okay.
Early on, about the first year that I was in this business with him, I failed to wake up to my alarm clock. And I was living in a little apartment in Antioch, Tennessee, probably close to Jelly Roll at that time. And I heard a knock at the door. I was in, naked in my covers, and I wonder who's knocking. I got up and I opened the door, and it was Joey, his brother. And he says, "Hey, Joey, come on in, man." He goes, "Man, come on in, grab your stuff, you're late. I got the bus parked out in the front of the apartment complex." That bus took up the entire area of that apartment complex.
You were so late for bus call, the bus came to your apartment.
Came to my apartment. And the only way we got away with that is because Craig happened to be not on the bus that time. He was flying into the show. So he said, "Hurry up before Craig finds out." So I grabbed all my stuff, dirty socks and all, whatever was on the floor, and ran out and jumped in the bus, and we took off. And I don't think Craig had ever known that story, but he does now.
Secret's safe with me, bud. Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching our first episode. Make sure you tune back in for more episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Join us again for getting to know the band and crew. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.